Today's topic is influenza virus. It was first discovered by Richard Soap in 1931 from pig and was first described by Hippocrates. It has a single-stranded negative sense RNA genome and a pleomorphic envelope with a diameter of 50 to 120 nanometer and was belonged to Orthomyxoviridae family, which consists of the genera A, B and C. So, among them only influenza A and B virus causes epidemics in human being. So, it has a single-stranded negative sense RNA genome and pleomorphic envelope with a diameter of 50 to 120 nanometer. So, HA and NA glycoproteins form spikes that are spread over the surface of the viral particles. The influenza A and B viral genome consists of 8 separate segments and each coding for one or several functionally important protein which require for virus entry, replication and virus structure. Next is about the glycoprotein of influenza viruses, that is neuraminidase. It is denoted as Na and also it is a target for antiviral drug. This Na assemble as a tetramer of 4 identical polypeptide and when embedded in the envelope of the virus accounts for approximately 10 to 20% of the total glycoprotein on the virion surface with about 40 to 50 Na spikes and 300 to 400 Ha spikes on an average side virion of 120 nanometer. Next, the 4 monomers each of approximately 470 amino acids which falls into 4 distinct structural domains: the cytoplasmic tail, the transmembrane region, the stalk and the catalytic head. So, the cryo-electron tomography studies have indicated that the Na tetramer exists in local cluster on the virion surface or as isolated spikes surrounded by Ha. Depending on the length of the stalk region, the Na may produce slightly more or less above the viral envelope than the Ha, which may influence the overall enzymatic activity of the virus. Next is about the cytoplasmic tail, suggesting that the Na cytoplasmic tail is involved in critical viral function. The N-terminal domain sequence is nearly 100% conserved across all IAV subtype and consists of the sequence M, N, P, N, Q, K. However, the role of the tail domain is packaging the surface Na into virion and is still remain unclear. A complete loss of the tail domain results in a 50% reduction in the amount of Na in infected cells. However, the absence of all tail amino acid except for the initiating methionine gave rise to virus. That also showed markedly less incorporation of Na into virion. But in this case, Na was present at the plasma membrane at similar level to wild-type viruses. Next is about the N-terminal hydrophobic transmembrane domain, which attaches the Na to viral envelope and contains a variable sequence of 7 to 29 amino acid and is predicted to form an alpha helix. And it provides a signal for translocation from the endoplasmic reticulum to the apical surface as well as association with lipid drapes. So, the N-terminal amino acid, which include both the cytoplasmic tail, the transmembrane domain and some of the stalk region, and has been reported to the significant to target the cell membrane and for the formation of the Na tetramer complex. Next is about the stalk domains of Na of different IAB subtypes, which share some common structural feature, but the number and the sequence of amino acid residue may vary. So, the cysteine residue may assist with tetramer stabilization by enabling disulfide bond to form between different monomeric Na unit. And also, this cysteine residue may occur at variable position in the Na stocks of different subtype. The tetrameric structure of Na which allows them to align so that the disulfide bond can form between the pairs of cysteine residue on neighboring monomers. So, the length of the stock region of different subtypes can have significant impact on particular virus characteristics. Now, let's look at the structure of Na stock length. In A, it enables the Na catalytic head which access to salicylic acid, that is expressing receptor, and B is the reduced stock length which may impact the ability of Na to contact salicylic acid on mucins or cellular receptor, as neighboring HA may sterically hinder its approaches. So, the degree of impact may be depend on the ratio and spacing of Na and HA glycoprotein on the virion surface. So, the reduced stock size may also shift the geometry and dynamics of the catalytic pocket, which alters its affinity for salicylic acid. Next is about the Na catalytic head and was first detailed in 1978. However, the actual structure of this domain was first described in 1983 for IAB and in 1992 for IBB. So, the actual catalytic head of all NAs consists of a box-shaped structure which comprises 4 monomers. Each monomer is in the form of a 6-bladed propeller structure, with each blade having 4 antiparallel beta sheets that are stabilized by disulfide bond and connected by loops of variable length. Now you can see in the figure that it is an electron micrograph of a 2-dimensional crystal array which is formed by Na head. One square shaped structure is equal to one tetramer head with the hole in the center of each tetramer, where in the white box which represents one tetramer head which is depicted in the structural cartoon in B, which is the catalytic head of Na, which consists of a 6-bladed propeller structure with each blade of the propeller having 4 antiparallel beta sheets that are stabilized by disulfide bond and is connected by loops of variable length. So, you can see in yellow structure that salicylic acid is observable on the head of the each monomer. The boxed region is magnified in the inset and shows that the receptor binding pocket to which salicylic acid binds. So, the structure was generated in Premol using structural information from protein data bank code. So, this is about the structure of neuraminidase. Next is about hemagglutinin. It is denoted as HA. It is a glycoprotein on the surface of influenza viruses that causes RBC to clump in the presence of an antibody. There are at least 18 HA antigen and its subtypes are named as H1 to H18. They are approximately 13.5 nanometer long and form a cylindrical shape. So, it contains 3 identical monomers form a alpha helix coil which holds the salicylic acid binding site. Each of these HA monomer has 2 components, that is HA2, a long helical chain, and HA1. It is a large globule head. So, HA1 and HA2 have different structure and function, but both ultimately help to bind the virus on the host cell. A1 holds the binding globular head domain and a conserved disulfide bond linking cysteine 52 and cysteine 277, which contributes to its stability. and also contain the sialic acid binding site, which helps the virus to the target cell sialic acid receptor. Next is about the HA2, which consists of the membrane fusion binding stalk domain that allows virus particle to enter the cell. The N terminus of HA2 holds the fusion peptide, which is hidden in the HA structure. So, this region cannot interact with the hydrophobic environment until the pH of the cell decreases. So, it causes the structure to slightly unfold and expose the fusion peptide. This conformational change allows the virus to fuse to the cell, and the virus can now insert its genetic information into the cell. So, this influenza HA has two mechanisms of helping the virus to bind to the target cell. One way is the HA1 globular head domain bind to the virus to the sialic acid receptor on the target site, which causes the virus and cell to stick together. And a second function is it catalyzes the entry of viral DNA into target cell by membrane fusion. Once they bind, the virus can inject viral genetic information into the target cell and take over cell machinery. Next is about the viral life cycle, which begins by binding to a target cell. Binding is mediated by the viral HA protein on the surface of the envelope, which bind to cell that contains sialic acid receptor on the surface of the cell membrane. Before binding, this NA protein promote access to target cell by degrading mucus, which helps to remove extracellular decoy receptor that would impede access to target cell. So, after binding, the virus is internalized into the cell by a endosome that contains the virion inside it. This endosome is acidified by cellular viral ATPase to have lower pH, which triggers a conformational change in HA that allows fusion of the viral envelope with the endosomal membrane. Next, at the same time, hydrogen ion diffuse into the virion through M2 ion channel, which disrupts internal protein-protein interaction to release RNPs into the host cell's cytosol. After that, this uncoated RNPs is fully degraded. So, these RNPs are then imported into the nucleus with the help of viral localization signal. Therefore, the viral RNA polymerase transcribe mRNA using the genomic negative sense strand as a template. So, when viral mRNA is transcribed, it is exported out to the nucleus and then translated by host ribosome in a cap-dependent manner to synthesize viral protein. After that, these viral protein and nucleic materials are assembled together to form new progeny of the virus. So, this newly synthesized viral polymerase subunit and NP proteins are imported to the nucleus to further increase the rate of viral replication and to form RNPs. So, these progeny viruses leave the cell in the form of budding, which is initiated by the accumulation of M1 protein at the cytoplasmic site of the membrane. So, in this way, this virion is then released into the cell. Next is about the transmission. People who are infected can transmit influenza viruses through breathing, talking, coughing and sneezing, which spread respiratory droplet and aerosols that contain virus particle into the air. Next is about the sign and symptoms. The time between exposure to the virus and development of symptom is called incubation period, which is about 1 to 4 days, most commonly 1 to 2 days. Mainly, infection however are asymptomatic, but the onset of infection is sudden and initial symptoms are predominantly non-specific, which includes fever, chills, headache, muscle pain, loss of appetite, loss of energy, or confusion. These symptoms are usually accompanied by respiratory symptoms such as dry cough, sore, or dry throat, or a rash voice, and a stuffy or a runny nose. Next is about the treatment of influenza in case of mild or moderate illness. It includes anti-fever medication, adequate fluid intake to avoid dehydration, and resting at home. In some cases, antiviral drugs are primarily used to treat severely ill patients, especially those with compromised immune system. Antivirals are mostly effective when started at the first 48 hours after symptoms appear. Next is about the prevention. To prevent this disease, we can vaccinate people against this influenza virus. Annual vaccination is the primarily and most effective way to prevent influenza and influenza associated complications. In these cases, we have to avoid close contact, we have to stay at home when we are sick. We have to cover our mouth and nose and has to clean our hand regularly to avoid touching our eyes and mouth. And also it can be prevented or reduced in severity by post-exposure prophylaxis with the antiviral drugs. And to control this infection, hand hygiene is most important. This includes measures such as frequent hand washing with soap and water, using alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and not touching one's eyes, nose, and mouth with one's hand. So in this video I have tried to describe about little bit about influenza viruses. So thank you for watching this video.